Nerdcore could rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore could rise up. It could get elevated.
What's up, all?
Nerdcore used to be just a made-up word. MCs shied away from.
First off, let me say, Happy Mario Day, Kyle.
Oh, it is.
Uh-huh.
It is.
It's
Happy
Mario Day. For those
Happy
of you who
Mario
don't-
Day to all.
For those of you who don't know what Mario Day is, it's March 10th. First three abbreviate March like they do in the calendars. MAR. Put the 10 behind it. 10. What's it spell?
Martin.
Martin.
Happy
No, wait.
Martian Day.
Nanu. But happy birthday, Mario Day, whatever. I don't know. But happy Mario Day. And welcome to Every Man's Guide to Nerddom, where we are 230. No, I forgot. I fucked that up. 240-something-year-olds. You're welcome.
Let's go
To
back
talk
to that.
about pretty much whatever we want. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kyle. And if you guys would like to be a part of the community, down the show notes below, there's a link to our Discord server. Lots of conversations and things happening in there. Up in there, join fellow like-minded nerds and talk about stuff and things and all that. Also, Chris and I both stream live on Twitch. If you want to hang out with us whenever we do that, Chris over there under Guyver Unit 01, GUYVER UNT 01. Myself under KSIG, K_SIG. We stream on Friday and Saturday nights, playing indie games, horror games, all kinds of fun community games, usually on Friday night, the indie horror games on Saturday night. So check that out. It's good times.
It is
Random
good times.
cough. Oh, God.
It is so bad right now. Jethro, take your pollen back.
Oh, the Bradford pears are everywhere.
The meat trees.
The meat trees. It stinks so bad here.
It's awful. Well, and it's awful in my city too, because they figured out that our sewage treatment plant is old and ineffective, and the town is growing so fast we've outgrown it.
You got
So,
a
like,
poop problem.
literally every post on every community post is, this town smells like shit. It stinks. It does get pretty bad. There's a long-term plan, but nothing, short-term to fix it.
Yeah.
And so all the admins on all these community forums, like, if you talk about this and keep posting about how shitty it smells here, we're going to delete this post. So people are just posting pictures of the shit emoji to get around it. And I'm actually kind of amused by it. So yeah.
Yeah, but like we know, beat the problem to death, like everybody knows. Nothing happening right now. I get it.
No, we get it. Smells like poops.
Smells like the poops.
So, all right. So we're on season 3, episode 3 of the Bad Batch. Episode titled Shadows of Titties.
You downloaded the wrong episode.
I don't know. Look at where I'm stopped at. That looks like a mound.
Well, true. Okay, well, maybe.
But I did download the wrong episode. All right, let's get to the right one. Okay. So, Shadows of Tantus. We're going to do our Nerkie. For those of you who don't know, we take an episode, we break it down scene by scene. Just based off of our knowledge or what we think. We tell you where we think it's going. Originally started out as supposed to be a nerd quickie.
And we found out that we can't do that.
No, we're too long-winded. So with that, let's start. We see Tantus. We see that it's actually kind of a cool picture where it's stopped at right now. It's like the mountain, and then like they've carved out the mountain. You can see where it is, the base, and insects chirping.
Yeah.
For the subtitles.
These little bands of, so they've completely hollowed out the hill, and they just got the bands open where they can kind of see out.
Right. We see Omega sitting on the bed with her straw doll, and we see the longer ponytail still. So we know this is still around the same time period. In walks Indri. Emery. Oh, yeah, it's Emery. She's like, good morning, Omega. Come on, there's much to do today.
So
datapad beeping. Boop, boop,
yeah. So we kind of know from just the plot synopsis of this, if you look at IMDb, like there's not a lot. They haven't really listed a whole lot other than Crosshair and Omega hatch a daring plan. Like that's it. And so we knew coming up to this is going to be their literal breakout episode. Yeah.
Literal.
Literally.
Kyle actually saw something really cool. Apparently, this is the top-rated episode of the season so far.
Yep. So far, top rated episode of the season. Yep.
And honestly, I would agree with that. It's a really good episode.
Mhm.
We see clone commandos leading the clone troopers. I'm assuming that's Crosshair right there. Because if you look at the side of his head, I'm pointing like you can see.
Oh yeah, that's him. Yeah, I can see your mouse.
Yeah, you see the little lotus pods
His little
in his
nubbins.
head. Yeah. So I think that's Crosshair.
Yep.
They're walking, and then you see this guy sitting there with this helmet on. Pretty cool looking helmet.
Looks like a lucha libre.
He actually does, doesn't he?
Mhm.
Do you any clue who this guy is?
No idea.
Me neither.
Maybe just a guard. Is it a guard or yeah? Okay, I was like, is it a guard or a droid? Because there's
It's
one
a guard. It's
okay.
something, or it might be a scientist.
Hmm.
They're walking down. There's Emery's everywhere. Or Injury. Why do I keep calling her Emery?
Her name is Emery.
Oh, that is Emery. That's why.
Yeah. There's multiple
confusing
Emery
myself.
looking ones, but that one is actually the Emery.
There are many Emerys like her.
Yep.
And they're sitting Omega down. They're just talking. Of course, they're doing the blood sample. And she's like, "What is this for?" And she's like, "I don't need to know." She's like, "You don't know. The doctor will tell me."
Mm-hmm. And important thing, like Omega noted that, hey, there's a lot of extra troops, marching around. So
Mhm.
security is higher, troop presence is higher. There's something going on.
And then in walks Mamusa.
Mm-hmm. And Dr. Hemlock.
Dr. Hemlock. And he's like, Emery, may I have a word? And Mama Say is seeing that Emery got the sample. Hemlock said an unexpected guest has arrived. Nalase and I will be indisposed until this guest departs, and you're in charge. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Yep. So you can see that she's in panic now because she's been destroying.
Nalase he's talking about.
Yeah. Omega's blood samples at this point, and she realized like, crap, I'm not gonna be able to get to him. And Omega knows she's been destroying them. She just hasn't quite totally fully grasped why, but she's got a pretty good idea, right?
Yep. And she's like, I'll keep doing it. And Nalase is like, this is unnecessary. I will see to them when I return. And she said, Dr. Carr. So now we know Emery's last name is Emery Carr.
Yeah, it came up.
Karr.
I think it came up in a couple prior episodes too, just not very often.
No. And so we know it's Emery Carr, and he's like, Dr. Carr is quite capable. He doesn't notice the shift in what he says. Excuse me. Oh, I got so much strip right now. He called her Emery at first, but then when he's trying to make her as a legit doctor, it's Dr. Carr.
Mm-hmm. So Emery's grabbing the samples. She's pulled it. She's taken to the centrifuge. I'll say is like I guess she's in panic. It's really hard to read her face. Yeah,
she's in panic. She goes next to Omega and whispering, listen closely. If she tests your sample, you'll be in danger. We knew this, but this is the first time it's been vocalized.
Yeah.
You must flee before it's too late. She's telling her, get the fuck out.
Yeah. Time to go.
Omega's like, is this why you've been destroying my sample? She's like, yes. And she goes, project. And you hear Nala say, come along. You're like, oh, she's about to say the name of the project.
Mm-hmm. 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 But we know later what the project is.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. We kind of had an idea. We had a little hint, but now we get it for sure. So, and she's telling her like, hey, you want to get out here?
My data pad.
Get my data pad. Yep. Get a shuttle. Skedaddle. Get to skedaddle.
Erase all my internet history on my data pad, Omega. Is what she's telling her. You think it's like, those walking sticks? You think she's watching like the Space Discovery version of the alien versions of those? Like After Dark, it's like the walking sticks getting it on.
I hope so.
I hope so too. Because look at her. She looks like a walking stick.
She does. She's just kind of flowy.
She's like,
Gangly.
they are really getting it on.
She sounds like smart butthead.
Yeah, indeed. Yes, droll, very droll.
Mhm.
Um,
Ah.
smart
Actually, she
butthead.
sounds like regular butthead when he's trying to sound smart. She's not smart.
But she kind of does. Damn it, that's all I'm going to be thinking now. I need to superimpose her face on Butthead or something.
Oh, god dang it, Omega.
Yeah, she's gone, oh, and then Hemlock would be Beavis.
Hemlock totally is a Beavis.
Oh, that'd be great. Or would vice versa, just by their looks.
Maybe they
Hemlock
cloned
could
a
easily-
Beavis. Like they got another Omega looking thing running around, but she's got like this like high tight mullet little thing going.
Oh, and then they need a clone Cartman.
Oh god, no, they do not.
That would be awesome.
Hey
Okay.
guys, I'm force sensitive. No bachelor's my pot pie.
Yeah, it's like no wrecker. She goes, no loft cat, bad loft cat. Oh, that'd be great. Okay, so they leave. Omega's looking. She's looking rather forlorn.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what's interesting. This scene, you see, there's an Emery, top bun Emery,
Mm-hmm.
or it could be man bun Emery. We don't know.
It's a top bun.
There's clone commandos guarding the door, walking, and then you also see stormtroopers walking the other way.
Yep. You got the mix happening. This is the I mean, it is during the changeover.
Right. And they're trying to get rid of the clones. We know that.
Under new management. Just we're working on synergy and teamwork here, right? As we talk with they're not your replacements now. These are your coworkers.
They're co-workers.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the replacements.
Yep.
If we don't
like
see,
how they let Omega just kind of go everywhere, though. It's like, whatever. They're like, this is probably the most important thing that we have in the entire mountaintop, and just wander around.
you look trustworthy.
Yeah, do what you want. I'm sure nothing bad will happen. So she gets into the secured room and sees Emery loading up her blood sample as she's eyeballing, as Omega's also eyeballing the data pad that she's supposed to swipe.
Right.
Mhm.
Wait, do you need something, Omega? She's like, Hemlock said there's a guest arriving. Do you like stuff?
Yeah, she's just stalling for time.
Yeah. It's best not to ask questions. See to your task for the day.
Yeah, so we can see the centrifuge just kind of acting like the clock ticking. Each little boop boop as it spins around, getting closer and closer to her blood. So she knows, like, I gotta get out of here before that. She's acting, or Emery thinks she's acting odd, so she tells her, just go back to your room, not prison cell, and
lay down.
Go back to your not prison cell and get a little bit of rest. Look out the window, forlornly and sad, and you'll be fine.
Omega reaches for the data pad and she gets busted, and Emery's like, what are you doing, Omega? Go lay down. Like, just stupid kid. Go lay down.
You got games on your data pad?
Do we have any data left?
Oh.
And then she goes, okay, and then Emery goes back on the corner and she grabs the data pad, she swipes it out, it beeps. It's like when you plug something into your computer and does the doot doot, it makes a beep like that. You think Emery would have heard that.
No, she unhooked the space USB there.
And then, okay, I'm not gonna lie. So there's a scene where Emery's looking at the machine. I thought that was Thrawn at first.
Oh, what's up there right now?
Yeah. The skin, because look, see the white uniform?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, he's got blue skin. I'm like, oh, that's just the
No, but they just got a blue screen.
Yeah.
They just have blue, white, and red.
Does it not kind of look a little, if you look at the top, a little bit like Thrawn?
A little bit, maybe.
I'm hoping they bring Thrawn in this season. I really do. Okay. So yeah, next thing you know, we see an Imperial shuttle coming, but it's flanked by 4 It's the I think they're the V wings. No,
Mm,
they're not the V's. They're the
what are
they're like the
those?
little clone attack shuttles. Ships. I forget what they're called. We'll have to look that up. But you know it's someone important because if it was just like a governor or someone, they wouldn't have quite this detail.
Yeah, I'm trying to see now. I'm curious what class that is.
And we're gonna shoot ourselves.
Eh. Oh well, we'll figure it out later. It's one of them though. It's definitely a class of ship.
Ben, tell us what it is.
Mhm.
So it lands, and you see the full detail out there waiting to greet him. Opens it up, and you see the what? The Praetorian Guard. So we know this is the Emperor.
Mhm.
For those of you who don't know, the Praetorian Guards are the ones in red that are really awesome looking. You don't really see them do anything till like the last movie, till 9.
Yeah, they didn't really do a whole lot. I mean, they are probably some of the most awesome looking.
Yeah, and they're the elite. They have the strongest armor, best weapons.
It's just because they just look cool.
They really do. And he's like, Emperor, your presence is an honor. And you hear the Emperor talk and said, I have been most eager to see the progress you've made, Doctor. Why does it sound like Cartman to me? And it's not even that because I can't do any of the voices. But that's also Ian McDermott's voice,
Yep.
who has been the Emperor for years and years and years now.
Going on 41 years now almost.
And what's awesome is B-Rob has his autograph.
He does?
Yep, on a Funko.
Nice.
Yeah, he got lucky. He got so lucky. B-Rob, post that
44.
one, please, so everyone can see it.
He's 80 now.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Shit, he's not gonna be around much longer.
Wait a minute. So he was born in 44. So when he first played the Emperor, he was 40.
Isn't that nuts?
What?
No way.
Yeah, born August 11th, 1944. So he was, like, he wasn't even 40. Wait a minute.
And you know what's nuts? He's a World War II baby.
Like, well, I guess they really, aged him up back in the original trilogy because, oh my God, we're older than the Emperor when we first saw the Emperor.
Yeah, he was born in 44. He's a World War II baby.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that nuts?
That is crazy sauce.
Well, good for him for still being able to do this part.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but I'm just thinking about like him in, the original trilogy. Like, wow. He got old fast and then he just stayed old.
Yeah.
So that's what that is. Okay.
So, flash fact. We haven't done a flash fact in a while. Flash fact, if you listen closely to this episode while the Emperor's on Tantus, you can hear the John Williams Star Wars score being played the whole time.
Well, I'm like half deaf, so I couldn't hear anything. I can barely see what's happening.
That's true. But, flash fact.
Good to know.
Okay, so the way that Hemlock looked there, you don't watch WWE, so you wouldn't know this,
in
but
years.
For these, but you should get back into it. It's getting really good again. The women's division's awesome, but the way Hemlock looked right there, B-Rob, you'll get this. He looked like Ludwig Kaiser. The way his hair is, the way he stands with his arms behind his back and kind of does his little finger. He looks like Ludwig Kaiser. If you all don't know, look him up. WWE. Okay, so they're walking.
Pictures of Mr. Ian here.
Look up Ludwig Kaiser. You'll see what I mean.
Okay.
So they're walking, and we have quadrupled our objectives in record time. He's bragging. And then it leads him into that vault where there's 1 million commandos guarding it. I have need of such grand designs, he says. However, that is not the reason I am here today, you guys.
Oh, okay. I see the similarity now. Now I got it pulled up. Yep.
You see it now?
The hair. Yep.
Yep. And the way he stands. So Ludwig Kaiser stands with his hands behind his back like that all the time. He opens it up. And wait, did we miss? Yep. Project Necromancer. They name it. We first heard that in Mandalorian chapter 23, The Spies. Flash fact. So
I'm looking up some stuff on Project Necromancer. Right, I can't even say the word.
It's been part of the Emperor's plans well before the events of his death in the original trilogy. So we knew that this is official confirmation that this has been in the works for years and years and years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, only been mentioned. This is only the second time it was like officially mentioned
by name.
By name, yep.
Okay, and that scene where he opened up the vault and it's the red lasers, and the Emperor he kind of looks up and smiles. That reminds me of a lot of the original when Vader does his red saber and the Emperor gives that crappy smile while he's sitting on the throne.
He just really likes the color red a lot. Big fan of it.
He likes the red multi-bearing. So they're walking. You see Tech Emery walking back there with her VR goggles on, her Apple goggles.
Mm-hmm.
Good for them for being that far in the future.
It's a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. Oh, was it a galaxy?
Far, far away. Yeah. Long time ago.
In a galaxy I can't remember. Omega used to smile. Okay. She puts the data pad down and she's looking around. She's like, beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, boop. Gets in the space elevator, and then there's the space mouse, and she kicks it out, and it goes. Ah!
Those things are everywhere. Just like, what do they even do?
I don't know.
Are they like Roombas?
I want to look that up.
Or
maybe they have a dune bucket compartment for lonely troopers at night.
Are they mouse droids? What's their official?
I think they're mouse droids.
Okay.
If I remember right.
The MSE series. What do they do? Oh, they're repair droids.
Oh, okay. How? It must be like the stuff on the floor. Like, because they're teeny.
Yeah, they're in everything. And I'm just scrolling and still scrolling the list of appearances. So
that's why they actually make them. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, notice what's down here. What's the difference where we're looking right now?
We got different troopers.
They're stormtroopers. They're not clone commandos.
Yeah.
So we know that this is a different section because we have the stormtroopers guarding this part. Omega's like sneak, 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 sneak.
She's Metal Gearing her way through the.
Yeah, she just needs a box. She sees Crosshair and he's laying down. She's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Escaping. Come with me.
Just let me
come with me if you want to live." Like, I want to die. He's like, "You found a weak point?" She's like, "Not exactly. I'm kind of improvising." He's like, "What the hell, kid?" She's like, "Just get the guard's attention." He's like, "That's not a plan." She's like, "Shut up." It is too. And he's rubbing his little bald head and he's like looking around. He's like, "Gods."
Yeah, I like his plan. What he does here. He's like it's like, okay. Like his whole line, his whole dialogue here, he's just like, unlock the cell.
Yeah.
Like,
I was giving you an order.
Yeah, playing out like I'm giving you an order. And so the stormtroopers are, like, oh, this clone thinks he outranks us. And he's like, I do. And it's like the
funny.
whole, yeah, it's like he's trying to like force mind trick them, but through intimidation. Like, yeah, and he didn't roll high enough.
So here's a really interesting detail that because I'm sitting next to my big monitor and, not across from like a TV mounted on the wall that I've never noticed before. Look at the helmet. It looks like it was painted on by a first grader. The white. You see the brush strokes?
So they don't start off white. So they got to paint them.
Yeah. Versus do you think these are redone like clone trooper helmets, repurposed?
Maybe.
Like they just switched out some parts, but like, yeah, look at that. You see the brush strokes, all the individual brush strokes?
So they painted all these helmets by hand. That does not seem efficient.
No, it doesn't. You think they could get some clone work or something, but
Yeah.
they have
They don't have a painting booth.
it's not
They're-
smooth like the stormtrooper helmets we're used to.
Yeah.
Like the shiny. This is very dull and yeah, really interesting flashback.
I wonder if we see that change later on, or if that's just a stylist. It can't be just a stylistic choice, but still.
I've never noticed that. um so and he's like, I'll take your blasters. He's like, what? How are you gonna do that? And he's like, you'll see. And then Omega opens the cell and Trooper's like, oh crap. And notice they have it set to stun because we saw the rings.
Yeah. I noticed that thinking about that. And you know, Crosshair's definitely upset that they're on stun because he didn't get to kill anybody. He hasn't got to kill
Yeah.
anybody in a while.
She's like, good work. He's like, nice choice. She's like, you're out of the cell, aren't you?
So she goes back to pushing buttons and they're grabbing blasters and time to make the escape. Throws one to Omega. So now they're both armed. She's got the data pad, which is super important. Even for like later stuff.
She slides it in and then beep pop beep pop. She's like, I told you we're escaping. He's like, what's changed? She's like, now let's say I said I had to. And I wasn't gonna leave without you.
She's such a good person.
She is. She's a good big sister.
Good little, yeah, good big sister. I like later episodes how she reminds them of that. Like, I'm older than you.
Yeah, little brother.
Yeah.
You little shit.
You little shit.
You think that when they're escaping, he like talks back to her and she grabs his hands and starts slapping him in the face with it. She's like, why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? And then
Stupid clone says what?
What? Stormtrooper 1, we're not supposed to be on patrol until mid-watch. And then like commander's orders, Stormtrooper, all hands on deck until the Emperor departs. Now they find out the Emperor's here.
Yep.
He's like, the Emperor's here?
Placed conversation for them to eavesdrop on.
Yeah. Another reason why this is not the day to wing an escape. Thanks for the reminder, dip clone, but we're doing it anyway. And she looks, his hand's shaking. Yeah, like, your hand's getting worse, isn't it? And he's like, it's fine.
Got the trimmers.
And not like the Kevin Bacon.
So you think that's from is that from the experiments and all the stuff they've been running on him, or is it
I
like
think
some
it's
PTSD stuff, or is it?
I bet it's PTSD, and then they've been experimenting with his head for re-education.
Oh yeah.
So I bet they've just been torturing the shit out of these clones.
Probably.
So they want to see, especially since he's a failed model. I bet they want to see what it was.
Me get re-educated? That's improbable.
That's improbable. Hello, Super Nintendo Palpatine. She's like, there's a shuttle here. We'll have to steal it. And he's like, improbable.
That's improbable. Oh,
it will be well guarded, even with me.
Intentionally.
Yes. It was crash landed outside the perimeter, and she was saying about the shuttle that got crashed on episode 1.
Yep.
Still has comms functioning. We can get Wrecker and Hunter, and he's like, "Oh!"
Yeah. So now they go down to the kennel, or they're making their way to the kennel, and we see the inside of
Project Necromancer.
Yeah. And so, man, I'm really curious where this is all going to go. We got the Mandalorian tie-ins. There's this big web that's being weaved that for some other big reveal. And I don't know. I think we're just gonna see all this cool stuff play out over different timelines, and I'm here for it. It's not Skywalker-y right now. I mean, it always kind of will be a little bit, but
Yep. No, you're right.
Something a little different.
I think this is really important. This part, specimens here are real well guarded, so they're viable for testing. He opens the door, and then you see the Emperor's eyes, his yellow werewolfy eyes.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, however, more time and additional resources, I'm confident we will have success in the M counter replication. The Emperor goes, there's nothing of greater importance to secure the future of this empire. Whatever is needed to accomplish this goal, you will have it. So you can tell the Emperor's pleased. You can tell he is very pleased right now. I never noticed that Ludvig Hemlock here has those arrows for eyebrows.
And he's got the eyebrow scar.
Yeah, and the eyebrow scar. Do you think it's like that guy in that viral video? You see, he sneezes and the barber does the little razor.
Well, they're pretty symmetrical. Like, oh, the line, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, the line. And then you think that's like he was asleep, and like the Emery clones are like, "This is funny." You know, he fell asleep before everyone at the party.
Well, shit,
Put
whose eyebrows?
wiener here. But like, no, he'll notice that. So just make it look like an arrow.
Those are very intentional eyebrows. Like I
They really are.
that's a stylistic choice by him. So
Instead of like the vanilla ice.
yeah.
Vanilla Hemlock. All right. So next thing we know, he just has this sneer on his face, not smear.
Mm.
Emery's walking into the cell and she's like, "Omega, where's Omega? I see her little dolly." And she's like, "Ah, that
scamp.
kid." She goes, "Robot house."
Speaking
we
of,
see we're
now we
down
got
in
a
the
droid.
kennels again. Yeah, no, a droid growing.
Mhm.
It's that long arm droid. It's almost like an early version of what was that one from
It kind of
Alan
looks like
Tudyk's?
well, it kind of looks like
in,
an IG, sort of.
Sort of, but what's the one that Alan Tudyk played in Rogue One?
I'm looking here. Oh, it's a K2SO.
K2SO. I mean, kind of looks like
It's a
that,
K2.
doesn't it?
A little bit.
Like an early version.
Not
Oh,
as
look.
bulky.
No, not as bulky, but
Well,
the
no,
head's
the
a little
head's different. It's
but
I
it's
mean,
like
it's a
an early version.
it's a humanoid looking droid, but the K2 was like wider. He had like the horizontal eyes and not the vertical
Oh, that's
look
true.
there. I mean, he's kind of got like an IG-ish looking shaped head, but not with all the extra goodies.
Early version, kitty. Yeah, you're right. It's not. I think it's just the arms that reminded me of it. But now that you said that, it doesn't look similar. And she's like, Crosshair's like, "What are we doing down here?" And it's like, "Well, we're in the kennels. It leads outside, but it's protected by a ray shield. We have to move fast or we'll be trapped." And then what are they called? Lurker hounds?
Yeah.
Lurker hounds are barking at him and like, "Batcher's here, be ready. We'll go through Batcher's empty one." Emery walks in, she's like, "Omega, you should go back to your room." And Crosshair's like, "You mean her cell? You're not thinking clearly, neither of you. But it's not too late. Here, drink this tea. Come with me. No one will know about this." Emery has a soft spot for Omega now.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, she's helping her do the thing.
And Omega's ability is to make people trust her and like her. You know what I mean? And it's not like it could be a force thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, she's
like the force manipulation.
The sensitivity and like the empathy side of it. That could be what it is. Yeah.
Or, and could be something like that.
Mhm.
And she said, "I've spent most of my life confined on Camino. I won't be trapped here too." And Emery's like, she's like, "You're a clone like us, Emery. Help us." And Crosshair's like, she's like, "Escape is it's not possible, Omega. This is for your own good. Give me that." And then she gets,
it's improbable.
It's improbable. Then she gets her ass shocked. And you can tell what she was holding. It's flashing. It's like, is that a flashlight? No, that was the comm. She was relaying this the entire time. Next thing you know, we see the Emperor walking. It's like, "It is imperative that this facility remain hidden and secure. There are many, even with our own ranks, who would consider much of your work an abomination. But they lack the vision we possess." And he's like, "Oh yeah, your brilliance is a great asset to this empire." He's like, "If I am appointed the scientific minister, I would strive to bring unleashed glory to all divisions of the Imperial Science Corps." And then
He's big.
Ominous thunder.
We got all
yeah.
this stuff going, and he's just like, "I'm here for the science."
Yeah, the
No,
science.
No, you're not.
And he goes, all in due time. And then he's like, let's go. God, if Thomas Dolby's She Blinded Me with Science played every time that Hemlock walked, I would lose my shit.
You know, he's got all these nefarious things, but he is scientifically driven. I mean, there's that. They're not for like the best reasons by far, but like, I don't know. It's odd. I'm trying to put it into words, and I can't. The words are hard today.
Words are hard, and they mean things. When by scientifically driven, he was driven everywhere. He doesn't drive his own shuttle. He's kind of a bitch. Like, he's 37, and he never got his shuttle license.
No, he's having to take Space Uber, the Spoober.
The Spoober. He needs to really be careful. Then someone goes, Sir, Omega and prisoner CT-9904 are missing. Notice they never call him by his Christian name.
Yeah, that was given their designation. Yep.
And he's like, missing? An alarm was just triggered in the Lurka kennels. Lurka-Stan. And he looks at Nala Sage, like, activate the ray shields. And they're running through the kennels, and all of a sudden, literally as Omega's running, it's almost hitting her, the ray shields. Like, that would slice her in half.
Yeah, she needs to be a little quicker on the uptake there, Omega.
Not quite, though. They run, jump in some poo-poo, and slide down.
Not the poo-poo.
It's the poo-poo. So they're looking. And he's like, oh, great.
I was waiting for this to turn into like a Predator like thing. Like it sort of kind of does, but you know what I mean. Like very jungly.
The lurkers are barking. We see Hemlock. He's like, what happened in here, Emery's like, I got a headache this big. It's like Omega had one of her data pads. They used it to escape in the chute. Even though she's got a soft spot for Omega, she's still loyal to
she's
Hemlock,
conflicted
to Ludvig. And like, hey, they made it past the ray shields, dude. Like, dispatch patrols and release the lurkers.
All right, I got you over on this screen. I should maybe if I can pivot like this, I'll save my neck.
All of a sudden, we see the lurkers being released, all of them in force, all three of them that are left.
Yeah, they're short a few lurkers.
And they're built like Chof.
Just ready to go.
Yeah. He's like, perhaps I could return to the lab, Dr. Carr. He sees this as a failure. He kind of suspects that she helped him escape.
Yeah. And she let him know, like, they're not going to come back alive if you release the hounds. He's like, I don't care. Yeah. For right now, he doesn't care.
Oh, I forgot to mention flash fact that I found too. When he has to be the minister of the Imperial Science Corps, it's also called the Imperial Science Bureau. The division of the Siths was dedicated. It's a division. It's a Sith division, so that's why the regular Empire didn't know about it. Dedicated to research and development of new tech. It's first mentioned in the Star Wars Insider. Made appearances in Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Ah, back in the SWOTR days.
Yep.
I keep thinking I want to fire that back up.
I do too,
but I don't. I'm gonna play anything anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I need not to have that thought.
He's like, secure in the cell to Nala say. He's like, get the recovery team. And then he's just got this look in his eyes, and everyone is being mobilized in their jump shits. And they're going, for democracy!
For democracy. Have you got to play that yet?
No, I haven't yet.
So many things have been happening. I haven't got to touch it all week.
Hopefully tonight. Well, and I heard it's better to play with your buddies at first, because I've also heard that people are kicking people off for stupid reasons if you get in a party and they don't like it.
It's just typical. I've had
too.
good and bad experiences with it. I haven't played much with randos though.
Oh, so that's why I'd rather play, with you all first. Try it out. So, okay, that's another plan. And then they're trekking through the jungle, and she's like, I think this could be the ships, and then they hear this, and it's the Lurkas catching up. And it's like, oh great, the killer hounds. And this is just a running scene.
Running and running and running and running.
Running and running and running. It's like it's just up ahead. She trips, drops the data pad, and she's Crosshair's like, I hope you put a case on that.
I cracked the screen.
Yeah, I hope you got Sith care on it.
Ooh, that sounds kind of terrible, actually.
Yeah, maybe that's a healthcare plan. Maybe
Yeah.
this is a trooper care, since they're always getting shot.
The Imperial Insurance Plan?
Yeah, the Imperial Insurance Plan. Next thing you know, we hear this growling, and it's a Dryax. Not Drax.
Not Drax.
And then it pops up. It's this big hairy thing with like almost like a skull face. It's like a skull,
Glowy eye.
like a skull wolf face almost, or like a hyena face, kind of. It's shorter snout.
I like how
Glowy eyes.
Wikipedia describes it, as a humanoid type thing. I guess because he's got some biceps and he's kind of upright. But the first actual first appearance is like now. This is the first time we've seen him. We've heard him mentioned before.
Right. They're cool looking.
I thought we heard him. I thought Richter mentioned it once before. Maybe not.
I don't know. He might have. The furry lizard-like animal. So it kind of looks like an owl bear a little bit.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like an owl bear.
Massive forearms on him with the glowy eyes. Why always with the glowy eyes? I guess it's
I don't know, but it
intimidating.
looks cool.
It does look really cool.
It looks like he's got like some sort of mask on.
You're actually where we're paused at is the exact same as the picture on Wikipedia for them. Like,
Is it really?
yeah, perfectly. Yeah.
Okay, that's actually cool. Then you hear this Lurkas, and they attack the Dryax because that's what they were. They were, taught to attack these things.
I don't like how Wikipedia has it as humanoid shaped because it does kind of stand up, but it's mainly on all fours. It does like rise up to fight a little bit, but
it looks like a hunchback.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it humanoid shape. It's like werewolf. It's like a space werewolf.
They're wolf.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, now I want to watch that.
I do too.
I won't.
So Omega fired up the space shuttle. And then we see Emery back in the lab, and we see the little protocol or the science droids walking around with their little
shuffle. Science.
We are 2 away from Omega's sample.
Mm-hmm. Counting down.
Omega's like, it's not working. The comms are completely dead. And then you hear the ship coming.
This was a good. We're getting ready to get into an action scene, but it was a really good action scene. There was so much going on, like really quickly once the ship started landing, which is happening now.
Yep. Like we're getting an odd energy surge.
Mm-hmm. So the pilot picks up on him.
I like this part here.
Oh, go ahead.
It has to be them. And then she goes, Omega's, I'm sorry, I knew this wouldn't work. And you're like, I was for sure Crosshair was going to say something shitty to her because he always
Yep,
says.
you're right.
He's like, you're an idiot child. And look, Crosshair, the way the light's hitting him right now, his hair and his stubble, he looks like a drag queen. Like he dyed his beard and hair like light purple.
Light purple.
Does it not look like it?
A little bit.
Like he's getting ready to read Omega to filth. The library is open. And then he goes, you got us this far. This surprised the hell out of me. He said, and we're not done yet.
There's his little turning point.
Yeah,
it has been the entire time. Like he was just playing hard to escape, I guess.
He was.
He was
hard to
like
escape.
he was always not. If she's going to take him with her, he was going to go.
Right.
But he would have been fine just staying there, I guess. Also, but
regardless.
Yeah, regardless. But now he's there. He's going to support her. He recognizes her for what she is now.
A child.
A badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he goes, "Do you know what Plan 72 is?" And she's like, "Tech had me memorize all the plans." He's like,
All
"Of
the
course he
plans.
did." Yeah. Like, of course he did. So if you all remember Plan 72, the plan involves ambushing the troopers and taking over their ship.
Mm-hmm. I wonder
These
if there's a
troopers
list
land.
of Bad Batch plans by number. Let me look here.
I bet there is. They're hovering over the ship.
Looking.
And notice who's commanding them. It's a clone commando commanding the stormtroopers. And look at their fake abs. What?
I thought you
They're
were gonna
doing
point out
belly
their,
buttons really weird.
I thought you were gonna point out their cod pieces there.
Well, that too, but like it's all hand painted still.
Yeah, there's Plan 89.
So the clone troopers
82.
commanding them. You count them up.
Well, I'm trying to find more of them. I know there's got to be a list.
Said hook in and stay alert. We need those prisoners found. Notice they don't say yes, sir, or anything. Because they don't believe clones are people. And then here comes the clone commander, and they're all doing their little formations. And like, oh, we found him. Ha ha! And they go in, and there's nothing. It's empty, the ship. And then all of a sudden, we see a blaster fire, and it misses. And I'm like, oh, it misses? It must be a stormtrooper. No, it was Crosshair. His hand's still shaky. Okay, that's kind of a cool looking scene right there.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like when they all start exiting, and
Like where,
this looks
especially
like
where
it
it was
could be
paused.
like Battlefront or something. Like it looks like it could have came straight out of a game.
I agree. That's a really cool looking picture. I'm actually screenshotting that.
Yeah, that is a cool one.
Okay, you talk about this. I'm gonna post.
All right, so we got lots of pew pewing going on as they're planning to take over or commandeer the ship. The troopers are saying they've engaged. Crosshair's kind of going for a flank and distraction while Omega makes it to the winch. She's being told to stand down, and we got Batcher coming in for the rescue. Whop! Out of nowhere, Batcher. She's been out there the whole time, and she's awesome. She's a good space dog. And so Omega makes her way up to the ship. Batcher's making her rounds. Crosshair is getting into some physical altercations, which is not his forte, but he's still better than what he's going against. Loses his blaster, but he's doing his sneaky thing.
Sneaky, sir.
Yeah, doing the sneaky. Omega boards the ship, makes it up to the pilot, pops him in the head. Did she stun him? Yeah, she stunned him.
Yeah, she stunned him.
And now she has control of the ship. Crosshair's in some troubles. And she expertly flies over and unleashes hell.
Unleashes hell.
Yeah.
Give him hell.
Crosshair makes it to the ship, and they're having to fight off some of the ones. And she is just bad A in this scene right here. She's covering him as he goes up. She takes like a really cool defensive position and just laying down cover fire for him to get back up on the ship while the other troopers are being dispatched in other ships. Mm-hmm. So the pilot that was stunned, he's probably dead now since Crosshair kicked him out from a very high elevation onto his head. And
I like this. She goes, Batcher come, and he does like the Mario thing on the Goombas where he's bouncing off their heads.
Oh, Batcher's a she.
Oh, yeah, that's what I said. She.
Okay.
That's what I said. She. I don't know why you don't listen to me.
She's a lady.
She's a boy named Sue?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they're taking off, firing at the shuttle, and of course those blasters aren't going to do squat to that heavy shuttle. The transport, and then they're being followed after by those, and then all of a sudden, click, we're on Omega's sample.
Bum, bum, bum.
And we hear this whoop, beep, 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 beep. And Emery kind of looks worried, and she looks around and like, oh, there's Omega's sample. And notice it's glowing yellow, unlike any other sample we've seen.
I mean, it's full of pee.
It's full of pee-pee. Emery made pee-pee in it. She's like, I'll show this damn Hemlock.
Yeah, make me do all the work.
They're flying. They're getting shot up by the turbo lasers on the base, and Emery just looks shocked.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, systems are failing, and Emery, Hemlock's like, I want that ship neutralized, and she's like, Emery jumps in. She's like, wait, don't shoot them down. He's like, what do you want, idiot? It's like, the clone
Stupid
sample
Emery.
supported a positive M count transfer with no degradation from the specimen. CT-9904 was ruled out long ago. And then Emery goes, it's not him. It's Omega.
Omega.
It's not him. It's Omegle. He's like,
Ooh.
call them off. But sir, they're escaping. He's like, stand down. He knows what this means. This is what he needs for Project Necromancer to succeed. If you remember, Project Necromancer was the project to clone the Emperor.
Yep.
Which produced Snoke.
All comes back to clones.
Uh-huh. And then they get called off, and then he goes, now. They go into hyperspace, and Emery's looking at Hemlock. Hemlock's looking at for her, and they're like, they went off into hyperspace. It's like a minor setback. I have the full resources of the Empire at my disposal. He's like, oh, yeah, I remember. He's like, we will find her.
Mm-hmm.
Beep, bopple, beep, bopple. He walks out doing the Kaiser. Emery looks a bit disturbed.
Yeah, I mean, she saved her, but at what cost? Like, she had to release that information to keep Omega safe, but now she's endangered her more. It's you know what? It is what it is with that.
It is what
like,
it
she
is.
didn't really have a whole lot of choice, you know?
No.
So that was our good breakout episode. Like I said, it was the most highly rated episode so far of the series.
Mm-hmm.
We're into 3. I just watched episode 4 before we started recording.
We can maybe do it tonight.
Possibly. And it's ramping up to be really good. I'm really curious to see how we get there with it. But
I am too. I'm really enjoying this season.
Mm-hmm.
So far, so good.
Yep.
Episode 2 was a little sketchy.
Well, it was a little filler,
but
hopefully important later. But yeah. So, I mean, I got theories, I got thoughts. I'm just gonna let it play out though, because it's been a good ride. Yeah. This whole series, and we're not at the end yet. We'll get to the end of the ride when we get to the end of the ride. But
we'll get there when we get there.
I mean, we know the end result of all this. We know that Necromancer, I mean, is going to succeed eventually in a shape or form. But like, I'm curious. I'm anxious to see, you know, the fate of the batch and all those things as they come to play. So we'll get there in a few weeks.
Hopefully, we got 15 episodes in this season. So
we're
then
3,
that's it.
And we've watched 4. So
we watched 4, yeah. So
yeah.
Well, with that, this has been Every Man's Guide to Nerddom. I'm under a time crunch. I'm Chris.
I'm Kyle. So wherever you guys are, please be good to each other, whatever time it is, morning, evening, nighttime, whatever it is. Please be good to each other. We didn't say at the beginning, like, subscribe, whatever it is to keep the little algorithms going.
Yep.
And
we're here because of your support.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you are our nerdy supporters. So
stay fresh, cheese bags.
We'll see ya.
See ya.
Nerd Corker, rise up. It could get elevated. Nerd Corker, rise up. It could get elevated. Nerdcore used to be just a made-up word.